what's up, guys? Dale Valor here from Modern Valor Dating. Listen, we are extending our playlist, our series on calibration. What is calibration? I believe game to kind of look like this. You know, you have inner game, outer game, and calibration. If you have all those three things working in order, you have them all. The inner game is the who you are. The outer game is the what you do, and the calibration part is the when and how you do it. Okay, so here's the deal, man. What I wanted to do was put together a whole video series on calibration because I just haven't seen a lot of information out there on calibration, you know, and so I wanted to break it down as thoroughly as I can because it is a kind of a difficult topic to really dissect because everybody calibrates a little bit differently. But I wanted to give you some ideas, suggestions, and some tips on how to think it through, how to calibrate in the situation, how to take a temperature of a room, and act accordingly. All right, so I've got 5 things that I want to break down to you about calibration in this video, and we're going to hop into it right now. Let's get it. Number 1, stretch your boundaries. All right, now what do I mean by that? All right, so look. You know, you are used to dealing with people in a certain context in a certain way because they're inside of your certain bubble. Okay, now people at school you identify with, if you go to school, people at work you identify with a little bit differently because it's a different dynamic there. And so you have those people, you have your family, you have your friends, and the little places that you go here and there. Stretch your comfort zone a little bit, meaning do some things that you don't normally do. You know, go to places you don't normally go to. So listen, you know, one of the things for me, when I was early on into this and finding my footing and learning my way, was to go to environments of places that really weren't my type of environment. Anybody that knows me knows that I came up in hip hop. You know, going to a hip hop show was my home, so to speak. I was comfortable there. Okay, not as comfortable as going to like a goth club. Okay, so what did I do? I went to a goth club, and then I went back, and then I went back again. And so to the point to where, you know, I was a welcome visitor there. I didn't live there, but I got to know the environment. I got to know how the people operate there, the kind of conversations that they have, and I could interject myself with questions and statements and get to know those people and get to know that culture a little bit. Now, how did that help me with calibration? Well, it helped because now anytime that I run into somebody who is part of that scene or has some kind of roots in that scene or knows something about that scene, I already have something in common with that person. And I already have some conversational starters that I can talk to that person about and know them on some type of level. And that helps me to calibrate in the situation because I know in large part what they're about, in some part their worldview, and it helps me to be able to communicate with that person a little bit better. Number 2, people watch. Okay, what do I mean by that? I think everybody knows what people watching is, right? Where you are out somewhere. If there's different groups of people that are there, you can observe and you can see how they function. Don't try to be somebody you're not to try to fit in with other people. Just see how they are and treat them respectfully. Identify with the things that you can identify with and learn about what they're about. That doesn't mean that you have to act like you're part of the group when you're not. If you go to a foreign country, do you act like you're a part of that country? No, you go there to learn the culture, hear the language, taste the foods, see the sights, all that type of thing. This is no different. When you're just people watching, you can see how people interact with each other. You can pick up on subtle cues, body language they use, the type of verbiage that they use. You know, all that type of thing makes a world of difference because now when you're calibrating, you're taking a temperature of the situation, you know how to interject yourself. Basically get those people to be welcoming to you, you know. So get out there and people watch, man. Observe what's going on around you. Get your face out of your phone, unless you're watching one of these videos. Deal, get your face out your phone, get off of Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and watch what's happening around you. I'm very good at being able to predict what people are going to do and what stores are going to go to and things like that, because I've been around all these people and I've seen their get down and what they do and how they act, and so you can do the same thing. And then you know how to act accordingly, all right? Hey guys, want to take this quick time out just to remind you, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, man. We want to be able to bring you this information as quickly as possible. If you're getting value out of it, man, it costs you nothing to subscribe to the channel, but it means a lot to us because we can keep going, we can keep moving forward. So make sure you do that. Also, give us a thumbs up, man. Drop a comment in the comment section on things that you want us to cover, or whatever the topic of the video is about, chop it up with us, man. Let us know what you think, so drop that comment, share it with somebody that you know needs to hear it. Also, the last Saturday of every month, we do a live Zoom event. We will have it linked up here. And what I want you to do is register for that, man. It's 100% free. This month, we're going to be talking about social circle game. So what does it mean to build out a social circle? How you can do that? Why is that important? We're going to give you all those answers, man, and show you step by step how to do that for it to work for you. Remember, the last Saturday of every month. All right, we're going to hop back into the video. Let's get it. Number 3, experiment. Try things that you don't normally do or say to, basically just to see what happens. Treat it as a social experiment. One of the things that I did before was act like I was a homeless guy and ask for money. Now, I gave that money away to somebody who was actually homeless, but the thing was, I just wanted to see how I would be treated, how people would interact with me, given that they thought I was like a homeless dude. Another example of that, one time I was in Thailand, right? And me and my buddy were walking down the street, and he opens up a set, he goes and starts a conversation up with these 2 girls. Now, one of the girls could speak English okay, enough to have a simple conversation. She wasn't gonna be breaking down like, all kinds of crazy stuff, but you could have a conversation with her. The other girl, no English, and I mean like none. All right, so of course, he starts kicking in with the girl that can speak English. So I had to calibrate to see, okay, how was I gonna interact with this girl? Now, one of the things that I know is that over 90% of communication is non-verbal. So I had ramped up Kino escalation, and before you knew it, she was having a great time with me. She was like, riding me piggyback, and I was carrying her like this, and we were dancing in the street and having a good time and things like that, even though we couldn't even actually speak the same language. And that turned out to be a pretty good night, So the thing was, I had to calibrate. If I didn't calibrate, I would have been like, wow, she can't speak English. How am I going to communicate with her? All right, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to go over to this restaurant or whatever, right? I would have blew it, but I calibrated the situation. Okay, how am I going to do this? Okay, and so that's what I'm trying to get across to you is that's what calibration looks like, taking a temperature of the situation. Now, I experimented to see how that was going to work out, and it worked fine, worked well, so that's the thing. So always try other things just to see what will happen as a social experiment. Number 4, the world is your laboratory, or it's your playground, or whatever you want to call it. This is the piggyback off of the last point. But here's the deal. You got to get out there, man. The world is out there with all kinds of different groups of people. And you know what? It's funny because even though there's a lot of things that are different about people, there's a lot of more things that are the same about people. So if you can understand the way that people communicate and the way they use their body language and their facial expression and hand gestures and all that kind of stuff, if you can get that down and see those subtle cues, now it will show you what to do. But firstly, you have to get out there, take some action, go out and do the actionable advice that we're giving you here. So is that you can learn, study, understand, try things out. And now, like I said, the world is your playground, man. Before, maybe it was daunting to you, but now it's like, hey, let me go try this. This will be fun. Like just to try it. See what happens. So do things like that just to see people's interactions with you, right? And then that will help you learn how to calibrate in the moment. So what is NLP? It's three things. It's self-help, hypnosis, and meditation all wrapped up into one, okay? And so what NLP does and what it can help you with is communication. And it can help you learn calibration better, because if you can communicate with somebody better, where they clearly understand where it is that you're coming from, they're going to be vastly more open to you and way more receptive to hearing what it is that you have to say and the things that you're trying to get across to them. The more that you do that, the more that you can calibrate, because you see that they're open. Now you know what to do. They get where you're coming from. They want to know more. So in those interactions that you have, all you need to do is see how that person is interacting with you and act accordingly. At the core, that's what calibration is. It's taking a temperature of the situation and acting accordingly to it. So somebody who's uncalibrated maybe will say they walk into a restaurant. A server is taking an order at this table of girls. He wants to go talk to one of those girls, and he just walks up and starts talking. Well, that's uncalibrated, because they're not going to give him the attention. They're trying to place their order. It just looks rude, like he's just interrupting everything. He would be best off to wait till that waitress leaves, then go ahead and open. Now they're going to be far more receptive to him. Then if he knows a little bit of NLP, he's going to be able to communicate what he's trying to say a little bit better, where they're going to be a little more receptive to it. Okay, so listen, in the comments, I want you to drop down in there. When I said the world is your lab, where are some of the places that you like to go to experiment, to try things, or that you would like to go to? Now that this has been opened up to you, maybe you never considered this before. Now you can go to those places. What are those places? I'm just curious, because maybe it's somewhere I'd like to try myself. We got a whole playlist going on calibration. So what I want you to do is I want you to start at the start of the playlist, go to that video. We talk about it, we go really deep on it, and I want you to check it out. And so I will see you there.